I will call the meeting to order. Could we say the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Gibbons,
Here.
Councilmember Reinecker is absent. Councilmember Schaefer,
Here.
Councilmember Zimmer is absent. Councilmember Jack
Here.
Councilmember Litzo. Here. Councilmember McLean is absent.
All right. Since there are no recognitions or presentations, we'll move to the public hearings. Okay. Okay. At this time, the council recessed to conduct a public hearing regarding the request for a special use permit for outdoor seating for Snarf sandwiches at 10935 Manchester Road, Suite 200. Mr. Hessel, do you wish to enter any exhibits into the record?
I would, Mayor, offer as Exhibit 1, the affidavit of publication verifying notice of public hearing appeared in the St. Louis County. Exhibit 2 is an affidavit of publication verifying notice of public hearing appeared in the Webster Kirkwood Times. Exhibit 3 is a map showing the property that is the subject of the public hearing as well as surrounding properties. Exhibit 4 is a list of property owners to whom notice of this hearing has been sent. Exhibit 5 is a memorandum from Amy Lowry, City Planner 2, to the Planning and Zoning Commission concerning the application of Snarf sandwiches. Exhibit 6 is the report of the Planning and Zoning Commission dated May 16, 2024, which by a vote of 7-0, the commission recommended approval for a special use permit for outdoor dining for Snarf sandwiches at 10935 Manchester Road, Suite 200. And Exhibit 7 is the Code of Ordinances of the City of Kirkwood.
Thank you. Mr. Hodge, who will present this issue to the city council?
That would be Amy, City Planner, Amy Lowry, thank you.
Thank you.
Right.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So this is on a lot that's on the north side of Manchester Road between Clay and Harrison, just north of the Kenilwood Pet Resort. It's Zone B3 Highway Business District. The first floor is occupied by a dentist's office, and the second floor is occupied now by the Snarf Sandwich Shop, which just opened last week.
Oh.
The previous use of the entire building was Pie Pizza, but the former special use permit for outdoor dining had expired. And so this is the uncovered deck area that it used to be covered, but now it's not. That's where the outdoor dining will be. And then here's a photo of that with the building redone. The applicants indicated there'd be up to 24 outdoor dining seats on this uncovered raised deck on the east side of the building. The days and hours of operation are from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. 7 days a week. The applicant anticipates 15 to 20 employees, with 7 employees on the peak shift and 4 employees on the evening shift. And the applicant's also requesting outside entertainment in the form of speakers for the same hours of the restaurant, but no live entertainment. This is just a site plan because there's no physical expansion of the building and the deck seating's not covered by roof. There's no additional parking on site required, and the property currently meets the parking requirements. And the deck area, this is just a floor plan. So the deck area is out here. It's about 600 square feet. In the packet, there's a memo from staff that recommended approval of the application, and the Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval in accordance with staff's memo. And the conditions of note were the hours of operation from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. daily, the outside entertainment in the form of speakers, and the special use permit for 24 seats on the existing uncovered raised deck. So as you know, the special use permit, there is a set of review criteria that both the Planning and Zoning Commission and the City Council look at. I'll just cite a couple of those. The proposed special use is established as an allowed special use in the applicable zoning district, which it is. The proposed use and design are consistent with the general purpose of the zoning code. The proposed use will be harmonious with the existing or intended character of the general vicinity, and such use will not change the essential character. And the proposed use will not impede the normal orderly development and improvement of the surrounding property for uses permitted in the district. I'm here for any questions you might have, and the applicant is here as well.
Would the applicant like to say anything? Hi.
We opened Snarf's last Friday. It's going pretty well so far. We're happy. Weather is really nice outside. We have some people sitting outside. We'd like to have more of them sitting outside. The permit is only for 12 at the moment. 24 would be beneficial for us. It's a sandwich shop. Background music,
Are you the owner?
lighting. Pardon me?
Are you the owner?
Yes,
And what is your name?
Mati Aronson.
Okay.
Sorry, should have.
Yeah, your name's on here, so. Now, is Snarf's a franchise?
It's family owned. So my brother-in-law started in Colorado almost 30 years ago. We started St. Louis in 2010. We have 6 locations. So it's not really a franchise, but sort of.
Is this your 6th location?
Yes.
Okay. Does council have any questions?
I do. Well, I was wondering about, and I don't know if this is a question for you, Mr. Jurgensen, or for Amy about, well, there was some sort of a cover taken down from the previous tenant in the building as far as the outdoor dining. I'm just wondering, do you plan on having umbrellas on tables, or as just a matter of practicality in the sun, I would think you would want some shade. So I was just wondering if you have plans for that.
We might put umbrellas. We haven't gone that far yet. If it's too sunny, we'll probably put some umbrellas. Hopefully they won't blow in the wind, but
Mhm. Or what might code allow, Amy, in terms of like a temporary sort of sunshade or something like that?
Umbrellas are allowed.
Umbrellas, yeah, but a sunshade, sun sail, something like that would.
Yeah, I mean, you have to get a permit for it, but yes.
Mhm. And then, I was wondering, do you plan, could we see ARB seeing maybe some ideas for jazzing up the exterior of this building, or you plan on leaving it? I don't know if Snarf has kind of a brand look to it. Right now, I believe the building is white and black, kind of
the building is
very stark looking.
all white right now. It was
Yeah.
completely renovated.
Mhm. But the exterior, do you have any plans for jazzing up the exterior? No?
In terms of,
I don't know. I don't know what you might think in terms of creativity and what might be allowed by the code. I was just wondering if you have a brand look. to
well, our brand is
Snarf's.
very colorful. We're trying to keep it inside because some of our building in Denver are pink on the outside. I don't think we want to go there.
Well,
but-
I don't know that do we outlaw pink? I don't know.
But
I
we
was
would-
just curious because
We don't have any plans on really modifying the exterior or anything else. I mean, it's a building with the remainder is asphalt and parking. So there's really not much to do other than try to do something on the facade itself. But we have our neon signs, but that's really it at the moment.
Mhm.
So,
But you're saying that the restaurant is already operating. This is
Yes.
just an SUP for using the outside.
Correct,
Okay.
correct.
As far as the speakers outdoors, are there any, I don't recall the special provisions regarding outdoor music from speakers. Amy, is there anything to do with volume levels or anything like that? I see that you're saying.
There's not, I mean, it would just be, meeting our nuisance code. There's a lot of ambient noise from Manchester
Right.
right there, so I
I
don't think the
remember
speakers are
how
gonna
close
go.
are homes to that, or is there possibly
There,
an issue with?
there are
congestion?
homes behind it on Earl, but, I think they're far enough
Far enough
away
away.
that, and there's a fence in the
Mhm.
back of the lot. And I will say, just to clarify, he did say he has some outdoor seats. In a restaurant, you were allowed 12 outdoor seats, but anything beyond that needs a special use permit.
Mhm, mhm.
And I'll also clarify that I believe the dentist owns the building,
Okay,
so that he's the one who did the development. He's a part of.
mm-hmm. And so I'm on ARB, and maybe it was when I missed a meeting, you already came for your sign package and all of that. Okay, all right.
That's all. Thank you.
Councilmember Giuseppe.
Yeah, I have a couple questions. One, I'm going to ask John. You may or may not want to answer it, but under the outside entertainment, it talks about the form of speakers shall be permitted from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. daily. And then the second sentence is this shall exclude live outdoor entertainment. Could that be misconstrued that that's the time period it's not, or that it's out, is that tied to the outside entertainment, or is that tied to the time period?
You're talking about the condition in the draft of the ordinance outside,
Section 1, number 4.
paragraph 4, outside entertainment in the form of speakers shall be permitted from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. daily. This shall exclude live outdoor entertainment.
Is that the time period, or is that?
No, I
Time.
would say that
Okay,
there's no live outdoor entertainment at any point in time.
okay. So I just want to make sure it's not like it reads right after the time period. So if during that 8 to 8, they can just have speakers, but if they're going to 10, they could have light over 10. Yeah, so I just didn't know if the exclusion was to the time or to the type of entertainment.
To the type of entertainment.
Okay, great. And then just Amy, you talked to the surface water runoff in the premises improvements shall be in good working order. How do we maintain that? I mean, how do we make sure that, they fall within those parameters going forward?
Most of those things are on a complaint basis. We are not out, inspecting properties generally for those types of things.
So that just is, if there's a problem, you'll deal with it
Correct.
if somebody complains. And then just questions about some landscaping, and was there any additional landscape plans or?
No, because there was no, other than the renovation of the building, there was no expansions of the building. There was no expansion of the parking lot. And so this building had been there for a long time. There was not a landscape plan in place. And so any landscaping would be up to the landowner to do, but not something that we could impose.
So what they have, do they have to maintain that, or is that kind of a? hit or
There's
miss?
no landscaping plan in place, so.
Hmm.
Right.
Well, I'm disappointed by the look too. And we've got so many wonderful things happening, including this on Manchester Road. But if you look at Namaste down the street, they've put some planters with trees in it. Just the whole Manchester corridor is just really improving so greatly. And I'd just like to encourage you to maybe think about putting some tree planters or something at the entrance of the restaurant. I just think it would help to not make it quite as stark. But that's up to you. I know, I realize. I can feel John over here going, you can't say that.
What I would remind everybody is the sole issue before you is whether or not you want to allow outdoor dining for up to 24 seats. They can have 12. This is to allow them to go up to 24. That's the only issue.
Yeah.
And the
We can
speakers,
make
of course.
suggestions.
Oh, absolutely.
I know we can still talk.
We can make
can't
suggestions, but we are very excited that you're here in Kirkwood. And I didn't realize you'd opened, so glad to hear that
Open
too.
quietly, soft opening, what they call in the restaurant business. So
Yes, yeah. Well, welcome to Kirkwood. We open.
it's been
our
great so
eyes
far, so
to-
everybody likes it. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Do we have any public comments, David?
Mayor and council, there are no requests for public comment at this time.
Are there any further questions from the council? No? Okay, hearing no further discussion, this public hearing is now closed. The bill will be on June 20th, July 3rd council meeting.
Date on this.
Okay. All right. We are going to have a second public hearing tonight. It's a request for a zoning map amendment from B4 Planned Commercial District to B2 Central Business District at 119 West Woodbine Avenue. Mr. Hessel, do you have Do you wish to enter any exhibits into the record?
I do, Mayor. Exhibit 1 is an affidavit of publication verifying notice of public hearing appeared in the St. Louis County. Exhibit 2 is the affidavit of publication verifying notice of public hearing appeared in the Webster Kirkwood Times. Exhibit 3 is the viewer map showing that the property that is the subject of the public hearing as well as surrounding properties. Exhibit 4 is a list of property owners to whom notice of this hearing has been sent. Exhibit 5 is the subcommittee report of the Planning and Zoning Commission dated May 15, 2024, in which the subcommittee recommended the zoning map amendment from B4 to B2 be approved after finding that the request met the review criteria for a zoning map amendment listed in section 25-17E1 of the zoning code. And Exhibit 6 is the report of the Planning and Zoning Commission dated May 15, 2024, in which by a vote of 7-0, the commission recommended approval of the zoning map amendment from B4 Planned Commercial District to B2 Central Business District at 119 West Woodbine. And Exhibit 7 is the Code of Ordinances of the City of Kirkwood.
Thank you. Mr. Hawes, who will present this to the city council?
That'd be Amy Lowry again.
Oh.
Thank you. So the subject lot is south of the Woodbine Center. It's north of Concordia Lutheran Church and east of Kirkwood Manor condos and west of an office use, which is a life insurance agency. The lot contains a single-family home that was built in 1922, and it had been used continuously as a residence until it was sold to the current property owner. Just some photos of the house and photos of some surrounding properties. This is a survey of the property. The lot is 60 feet wide by 150 feet deep, so it's only 9,000 square feet. The potential use of the lot is for multifamily development, but again, there's not a specific development plan with this request. It's just merely a request for rezoning. So this is the city block that it's on right here between Kirkwood Road and Clay. This block was zone B4 planned commercial in 1968 from an R5 multifamily. This was a request from Southwestern Bell. They were going to construct a division office on the site. And the office was never built. Southwest Bell sold the site. At that time in 1968, the development standards for B4 were the same as B2. B4 just was for a planned commercial area. Development was piecemeal from 1968 to 1984. And the Planning and Zoning Commission recommended in 1984 that all parcels that were not being commercially used be rezoned back to residential. That never happened because the Woodbine Center was proposed shortly thereafter and completed in 1986. So you can see there's a mix of zoning in the area. This block is B4. This is a number of older homes that are being used as businesses. And then we have multifamily residential here to the west. The block above is B2, and then there's B2 all around. B2 is the Central Business District zoning district. Just look at what the principal uses in B2 are versus in B4. You can use residential uses on upper floors in both B2 and B4, but only in the B2 can you do a multifamily dwelling where the first floor would be residential. Also a bus terminal or a tattoo studio. There's a number of B4 uses that are not allowed in B2. So just kind of a comparison of the two zoning districts for you. Typical uses such as office, retail, banks, restaurants, those are allowed both in B2 and B4. Just a chart also of the difference in height and setbacks in B4 versus B2. The B2 allows smaller setbacks than in B4 because B4 is typically for large developments. So on a site of less than 1.5 acre, which this is, the setbacks can be modified from the required 40-foot front and 25-foot side and rear, subject to P&Z and city council approval as part of the development plan. So if this was to go forward with a development as B4, the property owner would be coming in front of planning and zoning and council for some kind of modifications on the setbacks because it's just not possible on a lot that this is this small. This area is designated on the future land use map as downtown, and that allows for development types such as single-family residential or attached residential, duplex, townhomes, and that is what the applicant is proposing to do should the rezoning be granted. So some of the discussion that the Planning and Zoning Commission had was multifamily use being allowed under B2 and different setbacks versus the current B4 zoning. The subcommittee cited that under the current zoning code, they would not be able to get a modification for any of the setbacks against the residential districts. Subcommittee noted the consistency of the proposed zoning map amendment with the 2018 downtown master plan. And subcommittee reacted favorably to the request due to consistency with the master plan and the future land use map and the impractical zoning for the current property as it is. So by a vote of 7-0, the Planning and Zoning Commission adopted the subcommittee report recommending approval of the zoning map amendment. So for zoning map amendments, there's also criteria. Some of those things is to see that if it's consistent with the comprehensive plan, other city adopted plans and the stated purpose of the code, whether it's necessary or desirable because of changing conditions, new planning concepts, or other social and economic conditions. Also, if the proposed amendment is not likely to result in significant adverse impacts upon the natural environment, including water, air, noise, stormwater, wildlife, vegetation, that type of thing. The applicant is here tonight and I can answer any questions that you may have as well.
Does the applicant want to say anything?
Hi, I'm Megan Mitchell with Core 10 Architecture on behalf of Lucky Leaf Properties. I just want to emphasize that we think this zoning change makes sense based on the really small size of the lot and its surrounding context, and changing to the B2 would allow for development that we think aligns with what Kirkwood wants to see in the downtown master plan.
Okay, Megan, thank you. Does the council have any questions? Councilmember Letzow.
I don't know if this is a question for, well, maybe for you, Megan. I was just wondering, looking at the size of this property, which is 60 by 150, approximately there. Have you guys been talking to 117 West Woodbine about consolidating with them?
I think that has been tried, but the owner has
They're
not.
very resistant, or they're holding
So,
out?
I
Okay,
believe
so
yeah.
I mean, at least moving forward right now, you're just looking at developing this with either mixed use or residential, just residential.
Yes.
And it would allow, I don't know how many possible units would the code allow, depending on how it's constructed?
I think it's about 8 tops because it's about 1,114 square feet per dwelling unit in downtown. So
So just for just residential and the 40-foot height restriction and the footprint and all of that with the larger setbacks because of the B2 zoning. And that's
right. And I probably on the B2 zoning, there's no side yard setback required against another business zoning. The only setback would be on the on the the west side against the condos. The side yard setback is 12 feet or 50% of the building height, whichever is greater. So if they did a 40-foot high building,
Looks
there'd
like
be a
12 feet.
20-foot side yard setback.
So it's the larger of the two?
It's the larger of the
Oh, okay. Let's see. I mean, from what I can tell, it does make sense to rezone this property. It also makes more sense to try and snag 117 along with it to get a better development, but let's see what happens. That's all. Thank you.
I guess my concern is the neighbors in the condo. And so you've addressed it with side yard setback. I did see in the, what was just shown there, are we building the building for condos? Or are we building it for condo business use? Because it looked like there was 4 spaces for rent is what it looked like. No bathrooms, stuff like that. So, sorry.
The current idea is for townhomes and not commercial, but yeah, that's just the current thought, but
Okay, so
yeah.
the drawing that I just saw up here doesn't reflect what's going in there.
Yes, that's the idea of what we want to put there. Yes, it's 4 townhome units.
Okay, I gotta go back and look.
Well, I want to remind
It's
the
just
council-
concept and it's just one floor. So there may be another floor with, restrooms and that type of thing.
What I was going to say is I want the council to understand that what you're considering now is a rezoning of the property from B4 to B2. You have to understand and appreciate what is allowed under B2 and what's allowed under B4. And they can present concepts, but there's no guarantee that that is what is going to be built. Yet you need to judge this as to whether or not the property should be appropriately zoned as B4 as it currently is, or B2. We've already heard that B4 doesn't work at all. Makes it basically not a buildable lot. So that's why the conclusion from staff and planning and zoning is it should be rezoned.
Okay.
The result of that, you'll find out later. But that's always the case on a rezoning.
Okay.
It's,
Or do you have anything else? No.
it's not
Councilwoman
buildable for,
Jacobs.
it's buildable for a single family home,
Correct.
but not for.
No. If someone wants to take the current home and fix it up and occupy it, they may. But we don't allow single-family homes on either B2 or B4, so a new single-family home could not be built there.
So, and again, trying to figure out what can be built in different zoning categories and what's the impact on, pervious, stormwater runoff and all of that. I want to walk back through that, but did you all consider an R5 zoning request?
I believe we looked through all of the other just residential zoning too, but then it wouldn't allow for even the option for commercial. And I think in this area, that option makes sense still for the surrounding context. And I think the setbacks were still pretty severe to where something that was multifamily at all would not ever work, especially with adding parking requirements and things like that.
Yeah, so the setbacks for R5 are greater than the B2 district. So with the size of this lot, again, the multifamily product wouldn't be feasible practically because of the front yard setback. You have a much greater front yard setback in R5 compared to B2. So we did, when staff had discussions early with the applicant, we went through every district with them and looked at the possibilities, so.
So are you saying no multifamily could be built on that, or the ones that they're wanting to go towards? Or
For R5, the buildable area would be very small. And so I don't know what,
like
mean-
it could be a duplex versus could there be?
I don't know what the buildable envelope, it could, when you add on parking and all that, it might not be buildable at all.
But so we haven't really flushed that out.
Well, so what the question, as Mr. Hessel reminded you, what the question is, their request is for B2. So the question is B2 reasonable, not could something else work, right?
And I appreciate that, I understand, but I'm just trying to make sure I know how we got, I get it. You've got how you get to that decision, but for
Yeah.
the city, how we get to our decision, whether that's reasonable or not. So,
Yeah, we look at the comprehensive plan and the future land use plan. The presentation that Amy made lines that out for you to show that's what you should be considering in cases of rezoning. And in cases of rezoning, that's really what it comes down to, is what's the city's vision laid out in our adopted plans? And is this consistent with that?
And I don't want to get into the conversation on that, but not.
Well, you should. That's
right,
the
but-
conversation for tonight.
But not all of us necessarily on in agreement with a plan that really.
This is the city's plan, so this is very serious. So
Ordinance.
the comprehensive plan is the adopted future land use map. It is the future land use map that the city has to go by. If we do not approve things according to that, we are in legal trouble.
Great.
Whether it's ordinance or not, we are liable if we do not follow our comprehensive plan. We have a big problem. That is the basis of all zoning decision. So it is very serious. It is the topic for tonight. I will also say, just when we're talking about the concept plan that was shown, just so you're aware, Amy mentioned the multifamily use is permitted in this district. So minor, that would be a minor site plan under our code. Staff will review that if that is the direction, if the zoning is approved and that's the direction the developer chooses to go, that will be for staff review. If they decide to go a direction of mixed use, that would go through the preliminary development plan and final site plan process that would go back through P and Z and city council as well. So if it's a little bit more complicated development with commercial involved, you all would see it again.
John, so again, you may have to
Thanks, John.
educate me a little bit more, but do we have a choice in this?
Not much of one, if you want me to be honest. If you can keep it as B4, but it's not capable of being reasonably developed as B4. So they're coming to you as B2. The property can be reasonably developed as B2. If you deny the rezoning, the law says that you may have engaged in an inverse condemnation, which is, I can't use the property at all. Again, I'll be the city attorney saying it can be used. You can continue to use it the way it is right now in the existing home. That's it.
So does spot zoning impact
isn't-
this at all? It's not.
This is not spot zoning by any stretch of the imagination.
Okay.
This is not. Spot zoning is it's a term that everybody throws out.
I
and
know, I'm
get
just trying to
frustrated by it because it
understand
doesn't
it.
apply 99.9% of the time. You have, as Jonathan pointed out, you have a comprehensive land use plan, which the city is compelled to follow, as well as the other plans that you have in place, including the zoning code. And the question for the city council then is, based upon all of those, under the law, what do you want to do? You want to leave it as B4 and compel the property owner to only use it for the house that's currently built there, or zone it to B2, and planning and zoning and city staff has suggested to you that it meets all the criteria for rezoning to B2.
Okay, so I mean, this is helpful. I know you.
Understand.
You don't like to educate, I mean, you don't like but I appreciate the education on this, but we're gonna, if we approve this for the zoning change, we don't know what we'll get.
Correct. But you do know what you'll get. It's
Within
whatever
the-
is allowed under
right.
B2.
Right.
Right.
Is that straight what's allowed or an SUP?
I'm sorry?
Is it what's allowed or would it be come through as a special use permit?
No, it's what is allowed, and Jonathan and Amy would know what the allowable uses are under B2 better than I would, but it's whatever is identified in the B2 zoning district, and I can call it up. You guys know it by heart?
Yeah.
There's the list. Yeah, there's a list.
So if it's just as residential, we won't see it again. It'll be 40 feet. If it's B2, it could be up to 60 feet and we will see it again. ARB must approve exterior architectural treatments. Or, am I correct in this? Yes.
Or B2 or B4.
For any commercial.
Anything.
Any commercial.
Anything.
Wondering. Okay.
And what is the height of the condos next to it?
Or it's every bit of 2 stories, I know that.
Those three, yeah.
Yeah, it's every bit of 2, right?
All right, are there any other questions? No? Okay. Do we have anyone that wants to make a public comment on this issue?
Mayor and council, there are no requests for comment at this time.
David? I don't know, the young man at the back,
Yeah,
regarding this topic, right?
oh,
Okay.
come on up and state your name and your address, please.
Hi, everyone. My name is Parker Pence. I live at 8 Marcy Avenue, Brooklyn, New York, 11211. Raise your hand. No, just kidding. I just wanted to, I just came from the Kirkwood for Everyone Housing Happy Hour. So if I stop making sense, let me know and I will correct. But I just
We're
wanted to
only giving you 3 minutes. so-
Yes, understood. I'll be brief. I just wanted to speak briefly in favor of this rezoning. You know, how starter housing in Kirkwood looks a little bit different than it did way back when Kirkwood was first founded and we could build all these small homes that people could kind of start their lives in. And now it looks a little bit more like townhomes and apartments and things like that because Kirkwood is, you know, a lot more popular than it once was and the world is a lot more populated place. And so I think this kind of, you know, project is something that could give people an opportunity to start in Kirkwood and have young families here and really perpetuate the community in an important way and in a way that I think we all aspire to be, you know, a community for everyone, a community for middle class. This is a challenging property. It's going to be tough to develop here, even with the rezoning, but we have lots and lots of, you know, protections in place to ensure that whatever goes here, even if it is, you know, townhomes, is not going to have an ill effect on the next door neighbors. So I just wanted to speak briefly in favor of this and say that, you know, these property rights are important. I think it's something that we all believe in. Kirkwood has enterprising people that can, you know, take their idea and make Kirkwood a better place and give us more tax revenue and give us more places for people to live and make Kirkwood just slightly more affordable at a marginal level.
Okay, thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Pence.
Appreciate it.
Mayor and council, there are no additional requests for comment at this time.
All righty. Okay. Okay, hearing no further discussion, this public hearing is now closed. The bill will be on the July 3rd council meeting agenda for the first reading consideration. Thank you. Okay. Okay, and now we go into our public comments. Yes.
The public comments portion of the meeting is an opportunity for the city council to listen to comments from citizens. It is not a question and answer session, and the city council will not respond to comments or answer questions during this period. The mayor may refer any matter brought up to the city council to the chief administrative officer or city clerk if action is needed.
Mayor and council, there is one request for comment from Michael Carmody.
Good evening, Michael Carmody, 352 Wingrove Road, Kirkwood, Missouri. I want to thank the mayor, council members, counselor, and staff for the time you're giving tonight. I appreciate it. Mine is very short and prompt. It's something that's been going on for years. And we heard a lot about it during the last campaign season, and that's transparency. I am mixed up along with additional citizens on why we don't publicize the pedestrian crashes and the bicycle crashes. I sent out a kit today from Vision Zero that goes into some detail about this and how it should be reported. We do report the crashes, but we don't say what those crashes are. I think I've communicated to all of you in the past in writing, East-West Gateway is going to start requiring all applications to not only show the crashes, but break it down pedestrian, bicycle, and other. So my request is simply this. We have the information. The police department is publicizing it. Why do you want a citizen to be bothering the police department with requests for crashes if it was just simply put out in your monthly report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Carmody.
Mayor and council, there are no additional requests for comment at this time.
Okay. We'll move into the consent agenda. Is there a motion and a second for the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Oh,
You go, girl. I'm overruled.
oh. Are there any questions about the consent agenda? Yes, ma'am.
Mayor, I don't have a question, but I just want to say, Resolution 94, 2024 is appointing and reappointing members to various boards and commissions, and I want to thank everyone who has applied and who has been nominated by the mayor and perhaps other council members, and will soon be serving reappointments to boards and commissions or new appointments to boards and commissions. This is so important to the running of our city government, our community. Many of the boards are required by Missouri statute. Those that aren't are as equally important, at least to me. Arts Commission, urban forestry, et cetera. They really help make this community what it is today. Takes advantage of the high level of citizen involvement that we consistently have here in Kirkwood. I've found from my own experience on planning and zoning and landmarks that it's a rewarding experience. It's often fun, and has really an important impact. So I want to thank everyone sincerely, deeply for volunteering for these positions. That's it.
Thank you. Appreciate that very much.
I just want to concur with Nancy, but also thank the mayor. This was you did a yeoman's job
Oh,
working through this,
thank
and you look through the list of those that are being reappointed and appointed. It's a stellar list of some of our, the best of what makes Kirkwood so good. So I appreciate your time and effort. This was not easy, but you did a nice job.
And we got them all done too, didn't we?
You did good.
Yeah.
You did good.
Yeah. Okay. Anything further? All right. All in favor of the approval of the consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nay? Okay. Consent agenda has passed. Now we'll move into unfinished business. Bill 11036.
Mayor and council, this is an ordinance amending the provisions of the Municipal Code, Chapter 25, zoning and subdivision by changing the personal and commercial service, restaurant, and retail business use specific standards for hours of operation in the B1 Neighborhood Business District.
Okay. Are there any questions or comments on this bill? Okay, roll call, please.
Mayor Gibbons,
Yes.
Councilmember Schaefer,
Yes.
Councilmember Jack Sadek,
Yes.
Councilmember Lizzo.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to move into new business, Resolution 89, 2024.
Mayor and council, this is a resolution accepting the proposal of DG2 Design Landscape Architecture in the amount not to exceed of $93,549, which includes contingency of $8,500 for design and construction document services for the Mitchell Park Master Plan, and authorizing and directing the mayor to enter into a contract.
Are there any questions? Or do I have a motion and a second? Sorry.
Motion.
Second.
Okay. Are there any questions or comments?
Only thing I'd say on a comment here is we have one bid, and in the future, I'd like to see 3 bids on anything that's coming in front of us so that we have some opportunity to look at other
Mhm.
proposals.
Mhm.
So, and I understand the reasoning why and all that, but future, I'm looking for 3. That's all for me.
Okay. I think they were the only ones that bid on it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Mayor Gibbons.
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Councilmember Schaefer,
Yes.
Councilmember Jack Sadek,
Yes.
Councilmember Lizzo.
Yes.
All right. Moving on to resolution 96, 2024.
Did we skip over 95?
Did I? 95, 2024. Sorry,
Thank
I
you.
got ahead of myself.
Yes, Mayor and Council, this is a resolution accepting the single source proposal of the Missouri Association of Municipal Utilities in the amount of $15,235 for high voltage training for the electric department and authorizing and directing the Director of Procurement to issue a purchase order.
Do I have a motion and second?
Motion.
Second. Are there any questions or comments?
Just two, or
Mhm.
one, sorry. I took the time and called Mark and he explained what this is for not only for his journeyman, but for his apprentices. So they keep them up to scale and what they need to do out there. So any kind of safety, I'm 100% for.
Yes.
So.
Anybody else? Roll call, please.
Mayor Gibbons,
Yes.
Councilmember Schaefer,
Yes.
Councilmember Jack Sadek,
Yes.
Councilmember Lizzo.
Yes.
Okay, now resolution 96, 2024.
Yes, Mayor and Council, this is a resolution accepting the bid of Emerald Transformer in the amount of $24,862 for the purchase of 25 kV and 50 kV single-phase pole-mount dual-voltage transformers for the electric department and authorizing and directing the Director of Procurement to issue a purchase order.
Do I have a motion and a second to accept resolution 96, 2024 as read?
So move.
Second,
Okay, are there any questions or comments?
I do.
Yes.
Sorry. I talked to Mark again, all in the talking with Mark.
Mhm.
This kind of looks like it's purchasing a transformer and a transformer. He didn't break it down with how many the number are exactly, but he explained to me that there's multiple transformers in each one of these categories that they're purchasing under this purchase order number. So I was completely fine with it and asked him in the future, kind of just give us a little more info.
And these transformers were rebuilt
That's
and
correct.
have a shorter lead time because the numbers are just staggering from
Mhm.
what Emerald put in down to the, not down to the last one at 156,000. Okay. Roll call, please.
Mayor Gibbons,
Yes.
Councilmember Schaefer,
Yes.
Councilmember Jack Sadek,
Yes.
Councilmember Lizzo.
Yes.
Okay. Moving on to resolution 97, 2024.
Mayor and Council, this is a resolution accepting the bid of Sunbelt Solomon Solutions in the amount of $41,320 for the purchase of 15 kV and 37.5 kV single-phase pole-mount dual-voltage transformers for the electric department and authorizing and directing the Director of Procurement to issue a purchase order.
Do I have a motion and second to accept resolution 97, 2024?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Are there any questions?
I would just reiterate, same as the last, when I talked to Mark, this is multiple transformers, not just a single of each one of them. And so I asked him again, more information is always better.
Mhm.
So,
And again, they are rebuilt and have a short lead time.
correct.
Okay. Any other questions? Roll call, please.
Mayor Gibbons,
Yes.
Councilmember Schaefer,
Yes.
Councilmember Jack Sadek,
Yes.
Councilmember Lizzo.
Yes.
Resolution 98, 2024.
Mayor and Council, this is a resolution accepting the bid of Sentinel Emergency Solutions LLC in the amount of $25,942 for the purchase of 56 fire supply hoses for the fire department and authorizing and directing the Director of Procurement to issue a purchase order.
Do I have a motion and a second to accept resolution 98, 2024 as read?
So move.
Second.
Are there any
We're making eye contact, like
questions?
who's gonna do it?
I would just say,
Questions?
there's the specifics. 56 spells out exactly what we're getting for the purchase price. So I applaud the fire department for doing that, if that's who did it.
Mhm.
I have a
Yes.
question. So the budget amount was 33,000. The cost is right at 26. Is there anything else in that line item, or is that money back to the general fund?
I'd have to look at the line item to see exactly what they may have budgeted for a remainder. Typically, hoses, they may still order more hoses with the remainder. I wouldn't be surprised if they did.
And the bid thing was from 65.9 to 23, so you got a $40,000 swing.
I know.
Or so.
Yep.
Again, not, I'm sure, you don't know until you put it out there, but whether or not there's something else in there that they plan on using, or is it going
Yeah,
away?
they haven't indicated to me that there is an intent to use the remainder at this point.
I wondered because it says that, we didn't take the lowest bid because they didn't meet the specifications on the RFP
Mhm.
of what the fire department wants, so,
Right, so that makes sense.
okay, roll call, please.
Mayor Gibbons,
Yes.
Councilmember Schaefer,
Yes.
Councilmember Jack Sadek,
Yes.
Councilmember Lizzo.
Yes. Okay. Okay, now we have time for city council reports. Does anyone have something to report? Yes, Councilmember Lizzo.
I do. So I'm the new liaison to the Arts Commission. And the making music
To fill.
yes. Making music, glad to be back on. Making Music concert series started off last Saturday with a well-attended concert by the Southside Creole Playboys, and generous concert goers donated over $800 to help defray costs. Fortunately, the band did not have to compete with the traveling band of periodical Brood 13 cicadas in their buzzing bellies, who had mostly moved on to their new underground hideaways. Kyle Hinkey expects new lights for the amphitheater stage to be arriving soon. Not sure what supply chain issues are there. And on the next performance will be Saturday, June 29th by Diesel Island. It's free concert. Donations gratefully accepted. I also have copies of the Arts Commission printed flyer and information about their public art program, which fundraising efforts helps support the foundation's fundraising supports the Arts Commission's work. The Mensch sculpture that we approved has arrived. It is in Kirkwood. I don't know if it's unpacked yet. As of Tuesday, it was sitting in storage to be opened. But we can expect that it will be installed outside the Performing Arts Center once the pad is prepared. Also want to thank citizens for their constant involvement about transportation safety in the city of Kirkwood, and for the recent information about new Vision Zero crash reporting, which kind of takes a different tack at reporting about crashes and gives maybe a more objective view of how things actually go and is more detailed. Let's see, and I think that's it. Thank you.
Okay. Councilmember Schaefer?
Yes, hi, thank you, Mayor. Meacham Park Neighborhood Association is doing a back-to-school rally and backpack giveaway Saturday, August 3rd. I'm putting it up there. Everybody can see that. If you'd like to help out, it is not just for the Meacham Park area, it's for the entire area. They're trying to get 300 backpacks filled. The backpack donation, they're looking for $40. And that will include all the back-to-school stuff. That's what they're shooting for. They're going to have a parade, hot dogs. The police department's going to be there. City's going to be involved, I'm told, as well as the school district. And so I think it's a worthy cause, and I'm going to back it. So there's my end. There you go. That's it.
Thank you. Anything down here? Okay. Chief Administrative Officer report.
Yes, Mayor, the city did receive an application for a temporary outdoor promotional variance from Taleo Ventures L3C, 132 West Monroe, to hold a 3-year birthday party on Sunday, August 11th, 2024, in the parking lots of 142 West Monroe and 314 South Clay from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Setup will start at 6 a.m. and tear down at 4 p.m. Request would need city council approval by voice vote.
Do we need a motion? Yeah.
Motion and
Do
second.
I have a motion and a
So
second
moved.
for approval? Okay. Any questions? Great place.
Yeah, bravo, Olivia and the
All
rest
right.
of the gang over there.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, it passes. I think Mr. Hustle.
Nothing to report.
Nothing to report? Okay. City clerk report?
Yes, Your Honor. I will report on 2 scheduled upcoming public hearings. The first is scheduled for July 3rd, 2024, a request for a special use permit for outdoor dining for Cafe Napoli at 436 North Kirkwood Road. The second is for a public hearing scheduled for July 18th, 2024, a request for a major site plan partial amendment at the Greenbrier Hill Country Club at 12665 Big Bend Boulevard to expand the approved sound mitigating fence. And that's all I have.
Great, thank you. Okay, seeing no further business, this meeting is now adjourned. The next regularly scheduled meeting will be on Wednesday, July 3rd, 2024. Thank you. Thanks.